So most universities and community college, well, I would say probably all of them, I shouldn't say most, all of them have some type of an orientation that students go to either right before starting school, like the week before. Some of them have like a welcome week, or some of them have like a 2-day orientation, as is the case for Oregon State. And usually that's done on campus. But unfortunately this year, in response to the pandemic, there's only going to be virtual start sessions. So this is the page that you can get information on the virtual start session at Oregon State. And all I did was go in and the search bar up here and typed in student orientation. So here's where you will virtually register for your virtual start. So if you click on here, and then it will go through all of the things that you can expect at start. So before you go to start, first you're going to register your own account. You're going to apply for on-campus housing. You have to pay your advanced tuition deposit, and all of these links explain how to do those things and where to do it. So you just click on them and it'll take you right to those places. And then once you've done all that, you get to pick your virtual start. And I haven't really been able to go in, and it probably says here. So you're going to do pre-advising, advising, and course registration at start. And also, if you decide that you want to be a degree partnership program, you can register for that during start. You'll meet your advisor. Like I said, you'll register for courses, and you can ask all kinds of questions and learn about the university and all the things that you can expect when you get there. So start is required. And like I said, you must pay your advanced tuition deposit before registering for start. And I know that OSU's made it very clear that if you pay your advanced tuition deposit, register for start, and then things don't turn out how you expect them to for fall, you are going to still be able to get your money back if you decide not to attend this fall by September 1st. Then they will return your money. So they still want you to go ahead and do all of that. And everyone, they're planning on having classes at this point in person. If the class is 50 or less, and if the class is 50 or more, it will be an online class. That's just for now. And we all know that those things are changing daily. So that's basically how the orientation works for Oregon State. And the other campuses, when I was pulling them up, they look very, very similar, but each one's a little bit different. And again, if you aren't attending Oregon State, you can go to your campus website, go to the search button, I put in new student orientation. You can also click on new student next steps. And this is another really great site for Oregon State University. I just pulled it up on the Cascade site just for something different, but they will take you through your first steps, your next steps for first year students. Sorry, I'm getting my words all messed up. So basically the same thing, register your own ed, pay your advanced tuition deposit, register for Duo, which is a 2-step verification to get into your student records, and all students are going to be required to do that. So if you haven't done that and you're an OSU student, you can do that. Obviously, most people have signed up for and applied for financial aid long ago, but it is one of the steps if you haven't done it. Apply for other scholarship opportunities through Scholar Dollars, on-campus housing. Again, everybody probably has been well on their way with that. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. Uploading your immunization records, a campus visit, which isn't possible, but there's all sorts of virtual tours on most websites as well. And then don't forget to get your transcripts sent. That's another one from your high school or any community colleges that you may have attended during high school. Get those things sent off and take your math. I have a lot of students ask the question, if I took college level classes while I was in high school, do I still have to take a math placement test? And the answer is yes. At Oregon State, you do have to take the math placement test, whether you have college level courses in high school or not. But here's the deal. No matter how you do on your placement test, they will still let you take the next class in your series if you have college credits already. So for example, let's say you've taken Math 111 and Math 112 and you're ready to go on to the next math class, but for some reason on your math placement test, you didn't do so well and it said you need to take Math 111. They will still respect that you've had 11 and 12 and let you take the next class that you are signed up for. This is just a way for you to kind of see where you're at.
Okay, so now we're going to go into student account. So Jennifer, if you want to take over remote control, I'll get us started. So to go into most of your student portal, you can just type in my.oregonstate.edu. And then from there, you'll have a sign-in process, which mine might already be complete. And then this is where the duo that Jennifer referenced is important. So after I type in my username and password, it will have a duo process that then I accept with an app on my phone. And I want to go over to the student dashboard and pass it over to Jennifer.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about a few things on here. Mostly trying to get into uploading your immunization record and filling out your health records, but we also wanted to look at, like, for example, here you will, and we're not exactly sure if your dashboard is going to look exactly like Jeff's, because actually Jeff was supposed to give us a little overview of what type of a student he is right now. So I'll let him do that.
I'm going to do that now too. Yes. So I am also a student at Oregon State. So I'm in a graduate program in the College of Education. So my dashboard might look a tiny bit different, being not an undergraduate anymore. And I'm in the PhD program for the College of Education.
Yes, very cool. So anyway, yours is going to look somewhat similar, I'm assuming, because I do know that they've been changing the dashboard lately, and I haven't had the chance to see actual students as of, let's see, a couple months ago. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to just go over a few of the tabs in this section to help you guys out when you are going to university. And if you're not at OSU, you will have some type of a student dashboard that's going to look somewhat similar, but probably a little obviously different. But all of these same features are usually in the student dashboard, depending on which university that you're going to. And you kind of just need to go in and start just looking around and clicking on things. That's what I encourage students to do, just to kind of see where everything is. So in this one, we're just in an overview. Then there's the academics piece, finances. And I think in the student dashboard, like if you're not a graduate student like Jeff, there's going to even be like a new student tab usually, or a student tab. So depending, like I said, these are all going to look a little bit different. But one of the questions I always get is, how do I pay my bill? And that is in your student dashboard, and you can click on pay my bill. And it's going to, again, just give you a bunch of information on how to do that. So there's a login for your parent or another authorized users. So Jeff would just have to authorize them to go in and be able to log in as well. So a parent can log in and pay as well. And yeah, so this is just kind of how it goes.
Jennifer, you're welcome to go in there if you want to show.
Okay, log in with your OWNID. So that's what Jeff would do again, is go ahead and log in with his OWNID, which we just talked about.
There are several of these screens as you go in. It's kind of interesting because all of these dashboards look a little, or as you go in from the dashboard, a lot of these screens look a little bit different. They're a little bit unique. So yeah, once you're into the pay your bill, it's another screen. And if you were to pay with a credit card, it would take you again to another payment site, as many of us are used to when we're navigating online commerce.
Yep, and you can even set up auto bill pay. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can do here. So just kind of go in and look at your options. You can make deposits, you can set up a payment plan, you know, all of those things. So there's just different things you can do here. And again, remember, if you have questions, please ask them in the chat, or if you want to go over this one-on-one with one of our coordinators, we're happy to do that you as well. So be sure that you get the help that you need. So anyway, it's good to look at all these things and then go into them. So I wanted to show you that from this page. I also wanted to show you my degrees really quick, because this is something that students really find helpful, sorry, not successful, but help you be successful. Now it's a student view. So this is what he sees as a student. And it's going to go through and it's going to tell him exactly what classes he's taken and also what classes he still needs to take. So this is telling him his requirements still needed. He must complete all of the following. So this is what he has left to take in his program. And then down below, it'll tell all the classes that he has taken, the grades that he received, and all of that. So this is a really great way to keep up with what classes you still need to take and what classes you have taken. And I encourage students to check on this often. We talked about this before in other College Talk Tuesdays, but I'm going to reiterate again that you and you alone are the one that's the most responsible for making sure you get the classes that you need and you take the right classes, because your advisors are going to do the best job they can, but they have a whole boatload of students that they meet with, and sometimes there are oversights, unfortunately. So it's really important that you learn how to navigate through these systems and can keep on top of things yourself. And your advisors are great, don't get me wrong, but again, it is ultimately your job to make sure that you're taking the correct classes that you need. So this is a kind of the place that you're going to do that. And of course, right now you won't have anything in there except for if you've declared a major. You could actually go into My Degrees right now, and it's going to tell you all the classes that you need for that major. And so you can kind of go in and start thinking about, oh, I'd like to take these maybe fall term, these winter term, these spring term. Because when you do meet with your advisor, if you kind of have your own plan, that's okay. And they're going to help you decide if that plan works best or not. Because this is another really important thing we were supposed to talk about tonight is during START, you will do this process with an advisor virtually. So it's going to be kind of probably the same way as this, but this is how you add your classes, or if you need to make changes. So maybe you get into like 2 days of classes and you think this schedule just doesn't work for me, I need to switch some things around. You can go in and actually, search for classes, change classes up. This is Jeff showing you how to find, different classes. So he could he could either register or add it to his worksheet, and then it will show him what it looks like at the end. And it kind of helps you to see what days and times classes are. You can kind of play with things and see what classes, like I said, you want to take which term. This is a great way to find out when they're offered. So, and right here's a great example, animal science class. Here's all the options of when you can take it. Now, some of them, do they have on here, Jeff, a lab? Oh yeah, it says lecture. The LEC over here, it means it's a lecture. So a lot of times with these classes, you have to choose two. So you're going to choose your lecture. So let's say we're going to do lecture Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. And then we can pick any of the labs to go with it if they're available. Another lecture time is, where's another lecture? Oh yeah, right there. Thank you, Jeff. Another one at 8 a.m. This class would have not been my favorite because you had to take it at 8. Anyway, I'm just teasing, but then that's just kind of how that works. And then
pull up one more.
Do math maybe, because everybody's got to take math. Yep. So there's your math classes. Let's go ahead. Yeah, 111. So this is a huge class, and these are harder to get into. They fill up faster because everyone has to take it. And
so on here, you're going to have labs and then recitations. And so recitations, the best way to describe that would be like an opportunity, I guess, like a practicum session of the class, chance to work with someone else in a smaller setting instead of a larger classroom. You'd be down in a smaller setting to work on that in recitation. So you would choose both. You would choose a lecture and a recitation.
Yep, just like the labs with the animal science.
Yep. Sometimes
so
there is a lab and a recitation.
Yeah, some of them there are. Yep. And that'd be more with your like 5 credit classes, right? 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where you do that. You add your register, you can add and drop your classes. So again, sometimes you get going and you're into the first week of classes and you decide this schedule just feels too tight to me. This is where you can go back and do some changing around. And I don't believe, and Jose can correct me or whoever if I'm wrong, but to do that, you do not have to have your advisors. Once you're registered for classes, they have to give you approval to register, but once you're registered, you can go in and add and drop classes without their being there with you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. Although for the first time registering, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
OSU does this, but most of the colleges that I've seen is they usually have to check in with their advisor first for that
Yeah.
first set of courses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works with OSU as well. At least the
Yeah,
last.
so the students on here can expect to first meet with their advisor and talk about the courses that they'll be taking. And then after that term, you have a lot more leeway and freedom to pick and choose as you will, because you're kind of going to do it on your own. But in the first time, it's going to be with an advisor.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So let's see, what else were we going to cover? Oh yeah, health records and stuff. A student health portal. And you'll see here after Jeff logs in that you can actually make appointments and do all sorts of things with the student health services right through this. And this is a really important web page as well, just because if you're feeling sick or you need to just talk to someone, if you're struggling with anything, this is where you can make your appointments to do that. So here on the left-hand side, you will see all kinds of stuff. And we kind of decided that Jeff didn't have quite as many things here because he's not actually an on-campus student. So to actually be able to attend Oregon State, you will have to upload your immunizations, and that's where you're going to go. And to first get into the portal, you're going to have to get approved, and that's just by clicking a button. And Jeff hasn't had to do any of that stuff, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it's going to work for you when you log into your portals. And then once you get there, this can be a little bit tougher to do. So if you run into any issues, please, again, make sure that you just get in touch with your coordinator and they can help you go through these steps. So, but this is kind of where you're going to fill out all of your information for health records and get set up to go to OSU. So though, I think there's also a health history form that you have to fill out besides the immunizations form. So, but again, this is just a great place to just start looking around. Get into your student dashboard, just start clicking on tabs and looking where to find things and get yourself oriented with all of the different tabs. If we had time, we'd go through each of them, but also Jeff was going to show you financial aid again one more time really quick.
Yeah, just quickly.
Yeah.
So that you can see what
it looks like.
What an award letter looks like. So we came in through financial aid, and then when you get into the award offer, you can see that there are loans here that if I wanted to take out, that they showed up here from the FAFSA, and so I can either accept all, decline all, or modify. And so maybe after, as we saw in my other screen, you saw how much money there was still owed on that account. So maybe I want to modify this to not be the full amount, but to be more like what was owed on the account. And then that would pay the bill if I wanted to do it that way. But we would suggest that when there are grants and scholarships that you accept all of those. So this would be
for sure.
Loans.
You can leave your loans open so that maybe by spring term you actually need some money and you can kind of calculate how much you need, and that's where you would go in and modify, because you might not need the total 19,000. So don't take 19,000, wait till you need money. Try to calculate, because the way I understand it, once you modify and accept, then that's what your loan is for that year. So don't take just $2,000 if you think you're going to need $6,000, because then your loan will be for $2,000. And then you're going to be like, Fred, where am I going to get the other $4,000? I still needed that from the loan. So make sure that you know what your final amount that you're going to need before you modify your loan. But also don't take the full amount if you don't need to.
Because this was showing for all 3 terms.
Yeah, and so you're only allowed 6,000 for fall term, 6,400 for winter. So yeah, that's how it kind of works.